If you are a U.S. citizen, a green card holder, or a family member waiting for a visa approval, please take a moment to breathe with me. Just breathe. I know you have seen the headlines. I know some of them have made your stomach drop. Words like must reapply and before April 2026 can feel like a countdown clock placed directly on your life. And when those words appear next to your immigration status, it is natural to feel a wave of fear wash over you. But I want you to stay with me today, because what I am about to share with you is not more noise. It is not another alarming headline designed to keep you up at night. My name is Piper, and my goal today is not to give you more anxiety. My goal is to give you the quiet truth. We are going to sit together, right here, and we are going to separate the rumors from the reality. By the time this video ends, I want you to feel something you may not have felt in a while when it comes to your immigration status. I want you to feel steady. So stay with me. We have a lot of ground to cover, and all of it matters. Now, before we look at the details, I want to be honest with you about who I am and what I can offer. I am your guide today, not your lawyer, not a government official, not a USCIS representative. Everything I share with you in this video is for your peace of mind and your education, explained as simply as I possibly can. If your situation is personal and specific, please speak with a licensed immigration attorney. Many communities offer free or low-cost legal consultations, and that professional conversation is always worth having. But for right now, for the next 15 minutes, let me be the calm voice that helps you understand what is actually happening. Let us start at the beginning. You have seen the headline. Green card holders must reapply before April 2026. That phrase, must reapply, sounds alarming. It sounds like something was taken away. It sounds like a punishment. But here is what I need you to understand before anything else. That phrase does not apply to most green card holders living and working in the United States today. And the reason it is in the news has everything to do with how the American legal system is designed to protect people, not punish them. Here is what is actually happening. There has been a ruling from a federal district court. A judge, doing exactly what judges are supposed to do in this country, has looked at a government policy and said, essentially, wait, let us slow down. Let us make sure this was done correctly. That is it. That is the foundation of what is driving these headlines. A court check, a legal pause, a moment where the system is doing what the system was built to do, which is to double-check its homework. Think of it this way. Imagine a very large school, and imagine that a new rule was introduced in that school very quickly, perhaps too quickly. A concerned parent goes to the school board and says, "Did you follow the proper steps before making this rule?" And the school board says, "You know what? Let us review that." That review does not mean every student is in trouble. It does not mean the school is closing. It means the process is being respected. That is what a court ruling like this represents. It is a check and a balance. And checks and balances exist in this country for a very specific reason. They exist to protect you. Now let us talk about who this actually involves, because this is the most important part of this entire conversation. In the vast majority of cases, green card holders who are currently living in the United States, who receive their green card through a standard family or employment petition, who have maintained their status, who are renewing their cards on a normal schedule, these people are not the subject of this court action. They are not being asked to reapply for anything new. They are not being asked to prove something they have already proven. Their green cards remain valid. Their legal status remains intact. Their foundation is solid. The conversation happening in the courts right now is focused on a specific and narrow set of circumstances. It involves certain applicants who were processed under a particular policy that is now being reviewed for whether it followed proper legal procedure. That is a very different thing from a sweeping change that reaches into every green card holder's life and disrupts it. These are two completely different things, and it is important not to confuse them. Let me be even more direct. If you are a naturalized U.S. citizen, meaning you went through the naturalization process and took the oath of citizenship, you can rest easy. Your citizenship is not under review. It was not granted under the policy being examined. Your status is permanent, protected, and completely separate from this conversation. You do not need to do anything. If you are a long-term green card holder who received your permanent residence years ago, who has been living here legally, who has been following the rules, you can rest easy. The court ruling being discussed does not reach backward in time to undo what was correctly done. It is forward-looking. It is about making sure a specific process was followed correctly going forward. If you are a family member waiting on a petition that was already filed, you can rest easy. Your petition is in the system. The system is slow right now, but slow is not the same as stopped. I want to say something else that I think is incredibly important, and I want you to really hear it. There is a significant difference between a policy pause and a law change. These are not the same thing, and when headlines blur that line, it creates unnecessary fear. A law change means Congress passed something new. It went through the House, through the Senate, it was signed, and it is now the law of the land. That is a major, visible public process. It takes time. It involves debate. It involves votes. You would hear about it from many sources, not just from a single headline. A policy pause, which is closer to what is happening right now, means a government agency has been asked by a court to stop applying a specific practice while that practice is being reviewed. It is temporary. It is targeted. And it is, in many ways, a sign that the legal system is working, because when a policy is paused for review, it means someone, somewhere, stood up and said, "Let us make sure this is being done fairly." And a judge agreed that the question deserved a careful answer. The United States immigration system is like a very large ship. It does not turn quickly. It moves slowly, deliberately, and it operates on evidence, not sudden whims. When you see a court get involved, do not read that as chaos. Read it as the navigation system doing its job. Now I want to speak directly to the seniors watching today. Those of you who are 60, 65, 70 years old. Those of you who may have filed a petition for a child, a spouse, or a sibling. Those of you who have been waiting, sometimes for years, and who are now watching a headline like this and wondering if all of that waiting was for nothing. It was not for nothing. The law is on your side. The petition you filed, the paperwork you gathered, the fees you paid, the appointments you attended, those are part of a record. They exist. They are documented. A court ruling about a specific policy review does not erase that record. It does not dissolve your place in line. The structure remains. Time is a factor. I will not pretend otherwise. Waiting in immigration is genuinely hard, and the current backlogs are real. But the structure, the line, the priority dates, the petition process, that structure remains. The law is on your side. I also want to talk about something that causes a great deal of quiet suffering for many families, and that is the silence from uscis. You file your application, you pay your fees, you wait, and then you hear nothing. Days turn into weeks, weeks turn into months, and the silence feels enormous. It feels like something must be wrong. It feels personal. But here is the truth. No news is often just processing news. USCIS is handling an extraordinary volume of applications right now. The agency is understaffed relative to its workload. The backlogs are not new, but they have become more pronounced. And when a court issues a ruling that requires the agency to review certain practices that can slow things down further, at least temporarily. While courts move and policies are reviewed, the mail might still be slow. Processing times might still be long. And that is okay. Not because it is pleasant, because it is not, but because slow is not the same as denied. Delays are normal, denials are rare, and denials, when they do happen, come with a reason, with documentation, and with the opportunity to respond, to appeal, and to continue forward. A delay is the system being slow. A denial is the system saying no with a specific legal reason. Please do not confuse the two. If you have not received a denial notice, you have not been denied. You are waiting, and waiting, while painful, is not the same as losing. I want to pause here and simply acknowledge something. I know you are counting the days. I know the empty mailbox feels heavy. I know that every time you open a news app or turn on a video, part of you is bracing for something terrible. I know that this kind of waiting touches everything: your sleep, your conversations with your family, your sense of peace. And I want you to know that the way you feel is completely understandable. What you are carrying is real. You are not alone in carrying it. There are millions of people in this country in similar situations, waiting on similar processes, feeling similar fears. And those people, like you, are doing everything right. They filed, they followed the rules, they waited, and they are still here, still watching, still hopeful. Because the process, slow and frustrating as it is, does eventually move. It does eventually produce outcomes. And for the vast majority of people who follow the process correctly, those outcomes are the ones they have been working toward. You are part of that community, and that community is large, and it is resilient, and it is not disappearing. Now, let me bring us back to the facts, because I want to close this video the same way I opened it, with calm and with clarity. Here is what we know. A federal court has issued a ruling that requires a specific immigration policy to be reviewed. That review is part of the normal check and balance process that exists in the United States legal system. It does not affect the vast majority of green card holders. It does not undo existing green cards. It does not reverse naturalizations. It does not erase petitions that have already been filed. And it does not mean the immigration system is collapsing. What it means is that a narrow set of cases, processed under a specific policy, are being looked at more carefully. That careful look is, in fact, a protection. It is the system asking itself whether it did things correctly. And systems that ask that question are systems that are trying to be fair. For most people watching this video, the practical advice is simple. Keep your documents organized. Keep your contact information updated with uscis so you receive any notices that are sent to you. If you have a specific concern about your case, consult a licensed immigration attorney or a qualified accredited representative. Do not rely on social media or alarming headlines as your primary source of information. Use official sources like uscis.gov and breathe. The system is large, it is slow, it is sometimes frustrating beyond words, but it is also structured and it is built on evidence, and it does not make sweeping changes to millions of lives without process, without notice, and without opportunity for response. You are not powerless in this. You are informed. And being informed is the most important thing you can be right now. If this video brought you even a small amount of peace today, I am genuinely glad. Please let me know in the comments. I read every single one of them. Your questions shape the next video I make, and your words remind me why this work matters. Stay informed. Stay calm. Take care of yourself and the people around you, and I will see you in the next update.